Ladies and gentlemen, Trump gets to release more of the search warrant. NBC News, Trump orders more Trump Mar-a-Lago search warrant information released. Interestingly enough, all of these redacted documents justifying the raid into Mar-a-Lago, why do they exist? If there was such rampant criminality, why on earth would you have to hide information? They didn't even know exactly why initially. Trump's home was you could say broken into by law enforcement. They don't know why. They didn't know why. They know now. They didn't know why before. If, for example, Hillary or Hunter were indicted, you would have private servers with Clinton siphoning top secret and special access program intelligence and classified data from secure government networks onto private, secret, at one point unencrypted servers. You know exactly from the public record what's going on. Hunter, graft, likely bribery, pay-to-play schemes, quid pro quo. It's right there. Emails saying, how can you use your influence on the company's behalf, according to the New York Post? If you read the New York Post emails, and then 150 financial transactions with millions upon millions upon millions of dollars, tens to hundreds of millions of dollars going into bank accounts that Hunter and Joe ran, you would know, oh, okay, these are felonies. They didn't want people to really understand why Trump was investigated. They were probably indicting him just, on the fly, as they went in, seeing what they could get. Gee, is there anything there? Okay, let's just indict him for classified records that he declassified as a president. But here, MSNBC, judge orders release of more Mar-a-Lago search warrant information. Trump arrested a judge to unseal more portions of Mar-a-Lago search warrant. Washington Examiner. So let's read this. More parts of the government search warrant affidavit. It's interesting, too, because the United States government has wanted, and I think Hillary Clinton will be the 24 nominee for the Democratic Party. Don't ask me how. I just think that's the way Democrats work. The government wanted computer hardware, servers. They wanted data from Clinton. Nobody, the Federal Bureau of Investigation never went to New York or any of their other properties. The Federal Bureau of Investigation, one can assume, Congress wanted the contents. The Republicans in Congress wanted the contents of Hunter's laptop. Nope, nothing. That would never happen in a million years. In fact, we can get into the whole nonsense, but when the government wants information from high-level Democrats, they can stonewall, obstruct justice, destroy cell phones with a hammer, no problem. If Trump actually gives the Federal Bureau of Investigation access to a facility, a room he had in Mar-a-Lago, you could say, oh my God, it wasn't. It's like, well, he was president with the power to declassify. None of these people had any right to declassify information. According to Ted Cruz and others, Hunter was summarizing information that utilized classified data that he had access to, that he had no access to at all, not even a security clearance. Okay? With Hunter, he couldn't even get a job that required a background check. So he's not going to get a security clearance to read classified data. And yet, he had access to classified data for years and years and years. And so, no outrage from Democrats. Clinton had servers that President Obama didn't know of, apparently. Of course he knew. That's the thing also. Of course President Obama knew of Clinton's servers. Hit subscribe to this channel right now, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, to read my writing in The Hill, The Huffington Post, Salon, The Jerusalem Post, The Federalist, and other publications, go to hagoodman.com. Of course he knew. Become a member. The Patreon, we knew Patreons, thank you. The super thanks is below also next to the like and the share buttons. Of course he knew. Of course President Obama knew. Of course Joe knew of Hunter's business deals. The interesting thing from the obsessive fact-checking organizations is that if Trump makes any statement that's hyperbolic in any way, shape, or form, he'll say something like, well, we had the greatest economy ever. Fact check. In 1 year in the 50s, it was much better. Oh my God, we had record low poverty with Trump. Record highs in household median income. Okay? Record low poverty, record highs in household median income. The inflation rate was at 2%. Real wages were up. And they scrutinize that statement by Trump saying how great the economy is infinitely more than Attorney General Loretta Lynch on a tarmac speaking about golf, Brexit, and grandchildren with Bill Clinton, which of course they spoke about more than that, if that at all. They spoke about Clinton and the Federal Bureau of Investigation case against Clinton and the fact that she could have been indicted if she were anyone else other than a high-level Democrat. And so when President Obama says, well, he didn't know, he learned from CNN, it's not only an outright lie, you'd have to be a complete fool and imbecile to believe that. You'd have to be not only naive and gullible, so much part of this tribalism that has engulfed the country because Democrats lost in 2016. You think I care? You think I've disowned any friends for them voting for Biden? People disown me and disown you. Why? Because they're ignorant to the rampant criminality in the Democratic Party. If you don't know that your political side is actually more immoral and corrupt than the other side, you think that it's a divine, religious pursuit almost, even if you're an atheist. Politics has become a religion for the morally superior, highly educated liberal Democrats because, like any religion, you think you're right, or if you're unhealthy, you just think that you're right and everybody else is wrong, and you're better of a human being. I don't think that's the way anyone should think. They should just believe in their religion and God and think that everyone, who believes in God and is a good person will go to heaven. But the way Democrats think is that they're anointed and morally superior and more educated, yet they're ignorant to all the criminality. They're ignorant to all the criminality and corruption within their political party. So then they disown friends and family to purge themselves from the deplorable, immoral, and tainted individuals who possibly voted for Trump. The man who shall not be named because of the Pavlovian response that Democrats get when they hear his name. But anyway, all these Democrats who can't stand Trump watched The Apprentice, no problem, when he was firing people. Celebrities, by the way. When he took over Hollywood, could you imagine all of these wonderful, morally superior, highly educated Democrats, liberal Democrats, and Hollywood celebrities, if they saw Trump in 2014, they would embrace his rear end. They would embrace his rear end. And now they're like, oh, Trump, you voted for Trump? You can't come to the wedding. And so it's about power. Trump took power away from them. He did very well, so they had to really step up the apoplectic response. Anyway, they now think they're getting what they want, but the thing is, the classified data indictment case is sinking. It's just sinking every single day. They're not even getting him on the interview, the audio. So the audio that was supposed to have been so incriminating, they're not even getting him on that document. The document that is supposed to exist, that doesn't really exist, because nobody has it, the DOJ doesn't, they're not indicting him on. The 31 documents, number one, it's also going to be in Florida, where Trump is far more popular, and he'll probably have a better chance at a trial, plus with a judge that won't just be out to get him. You have 31 documents that he declassified. You have to prove, the government has to prove and utilize a precedent where they went after a president and prove that he didn't declassify. It's not for Trump to prove as a former president that he declassified information. Also, there were 22 million emails missing in the Bush administration that the National Archives didn't care about. And the National Archives didn't care about the information that President Obama sent to Hillary Clinton via email. Okay? So, and all the emails that, the classified data floating around President Obama's administration, Uma Abedin's laptop, the National Archives didn't care about that. So, Everybody knows what's going on. Hit subscribe to this channel right now, ladies and gentlemen.